let's move to Colston Loveland, the consensus kind of second guy in this class. However, Charles, it feels like there's been a bit of a groundswell movement, and it feels like our buddy Nate Tice is maybe the leader of this movement. It's like maybe Colston Loveland is actually the better of the two prospects here. No shade on Warren, but that just might be how good Loveland is as we're projecting him to the NFL. Where do you stand on these two guys, like how they rank together, and just kind of give me your evaluation of Loveland here?
I think it's close. In terms of comparing them to the next level, because honestly, I think if you're just painting like a broad picture of the both of both of them, you kind of come away with some similar takeaways. Where Loveland, just dynamite receiver, like seriously. When he gets the ball, or not when he gets the ball in the same, but when he starts moving downfield, he's one of those guys where I look, I was like, could you actually play slot receiver in the NFL at like 6'5", 240? Because I know we didn't get any testing times on him, but he's got the speed, man. He's got the athleticism. Yeah. I think he cuts in and out really, really well. And the hands too. I do think a little bit at the catch point, he's a little bit stronger than Tyler Warren. Like I think he's got some more real deal receiver skills there, but man, the blocking, for me, it's not where it needs to be. And at like 240, I'm not sure how much more weight like you're trying to gain, because what he's really good at and what's going to get him drafted highly is the receiver ability. So this to me is more just like a philosophical struggle I have sometimes with the tight end prospects that we're getting. Like Brock Bowers, not like he'll try blocking, but it's not great. And I think that same goes for Warren and Loveland. Like I think on Loveland, like on some base blocks, like he'll get tossed out the club, which is something he's got to work on in the NFL. But luckily, it's only 21. It's got time to get stronger. And the receiving ability, I think, is already top notch. Like you kind of with Loveland, you might got to go back to 2023. When they had like an actual quarterback under center to see how talented he actually is. But I think this could be a guy that in year one, just off like the speed and the agility and the receiving skills, can make a big impact.
Yeah, he actually measured at the combine 6'6", so he's even bigger than where he was listed at. So yeah, 6'6", 248 at the NFL scouting combine. So yeah, he's tall. Like that's like Jimmy Graham height. And I mean, dude, Jimmy Graham was like vulturing touchdowns for the Saints a couple of years ago. Like just off that he was still big as hell. So I mean, Colston Loveland's definitely the type of tight end who could be really productive in the NFL. And worth noting too, not only did he not have a quarterback last year, he's also playing with a shoulder injury, which I feel like kind of impacted him as a blocker. Danny Jeremiah made fun of me for this on Mock Draft Monday for like trying to excuse away his blocking and be like, well, he gives effort, like he'll give you effort as a blocker. Where it's like, okay, well, he gives you effort, but does he actually do it? So I think that's kind of the question with Loveland, because size wise, he looks like he could be that prototypical inline tight end. I think skill set wise actually looks more like he could just filter into that role as opposed to be that big slot. But the ideal type of tight end in today's NFL, Charles, is they can give you the traditional inline stuff and then be flexed out into the slot, which is why I think people are so intrigued with Loveland, because I think he could check those boxes.
Yeah, for him, it's to me, there's just a little bit of projection there in terms of like the consistent inline stuff. But like I said before, I watch his tape and I'm like, man, you could be one of those like guys that's actually big and can play and survive in the slot. Like I would be trying to get him schemed up touches. I saw Lance Zierlein had on the card another Sam Laporta comp for Loveland. I think it fits here too. Any way you can try to get the ball in his hands in open space and just let him run, that's probably going to be good. But I think he's got enough chops as a receiver and some route running ability where maybe like you can win some one-on-ones early on in your career in the NFL. But I do think early on it might be a little bit of a interesting fit just to see like how you get them on the field all that often, because like NFL defensive ends, it's a different beast, than what you saw last year, and it wasn't always great last year. So teams are going to have to figure out how to mitigate that, but the receiving upside is just, it's really out there.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to get too meta about the tight end position again, but this is the type of guy, like, if he can improve the blocking, that is critical here, because he can be deployed in so many different ways, and what you don't want him to be is like the typical idea from the fantasy bros is, oh well, we don't care about his blocking, it's actually good if he can't block, because then he'll just be running routes, but you need the guy to get on the field. And at this point, like, teams will throw you off the field to put like a blocking guy in there. I mean, this is what has happened with Dalton Kincaid throughout the course of his career. So I really like Colston Loveland. I actually think I might prefer him just as a receiver a little bit more than Tyler Warren, only because I think from a route perspective, I think he might give you a little more traditional upside there. But yeah, to me, I really like Colston Loveland. I'm excited to see where he lands. Do you have like a potential favorite landing spot for him in the first round this year?
Think. I mean, I feel like there's a handful of teams that could use a tight end. I mean, the Indianapolis fit is not bad.
I'm so anti Colts first round. I'm so anti first round tight end for the Colts, because they got enough guys that can't get the football to, Charles.
Yeah, I don't love it either, but it's something. I don't know. I don't know because I always struggle to kind of fit tight ends into the first round sometimes. Like I didn't really see what the fit was for Brock Bowers and man, who's that? Mike Mayer, who they drafted the year before, and obviously, Mayer had to take some time, and Brock did what he did last year. But I didn't really see that coming before the draft, so I'm not totally sure. Pittsburgh, could that be a fit? I don't know.
Pittsburgh's interesting. What about the Chargers at 22? Obviously, former coaches there with Jim Harbaugh and the gang, but what, you don't like that?
Well, I was about to say I don't know, but they did have Roman did coach Mark Andrews, who was obviously a part of a big run heavy scheme. So it's not like it'll be totally foreign to them. But I just watched what they did last year, and they were trying to be just so heavy. I worry that maybe he would get relegated to like a shot play guy in that offense as existed last year. But I'm sure just having his presence and having anyone besides Vlad McConkey can get open would help a lot. But even that one, like for the role they eventually wanted to be in, you might get some fake Pat Ricard and Loveland on the field at the same time.
Will Dissly get him in the mix there? I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of an interesting one to project.